Most people think trusts are only for the ultra wealthy. Old money, mansions, offshore accounts, that's not what this is. If you own a home, have kids, or have more than $160,000 in assets, a trust might be one of the most important things you ever set up. And yet most people have no idea where to start because no one ever explained the difference between all of them. That's exactly what we're doing today. There are 13 types of trusts we're going to walk through. But before we get into each one, you need to understand three things that every trust has in common. First, the grantor, also called the truster or settler. That's you, the person creating the trust. Second, the trustee, the person or institution managing the assets. Third, the beneficiary, the people who ultimately benefit. Every trust on this list has these three roles. The difference is in how much control you keep, how long it lasts, and what it's designed to protect. Let's start with the most fundamental distinction of all. Think of this as the foundation. Everything else builds on top of it. A revocable trust is exactly what it sounds like. You create it, you control it, and you can change it or cancel it entirely at any time. An irrevocable trust is the opposite. Once it's set up and funded, you generally can't take it back. You give up control. But here's why someone would want that. The moment those assets leave your estate, they're protected. Creditors can't come after them. Lawsuits can't touch them. If you're in a high liability profession, an irrevocable trust can be a legal firewall between your wealth and anyone trying to sue you. Here's an important 2026 update. The federal estate tax exemption is now permanently set at $15 million per individual, or $30 million per married couple. But state-level taxes are a different story. Oregon starts at $1 million, Massachusetts at $2 million, New York at $7.16 million. Your state might still affect you. A living trust is simply another name for a revocable trust. You create it while you're alive and manage it yourself. When you pass, your assets transfer directly to your beneficiaries. No court, no probate, no delays. That last part matters more than people realize. Probate can take months, sometimes years. It's public record, and it's expensive. Attorneys, court fees, executor fees. It adds up fast. One caveat though, a living trust does not protect your assets from creditors while you're still alive. For that, you need to go irrevocable. If you're married and want a single trust that covers both of you, a joint trust is the move. Both spouses retain control over all assets. When one spouse passes, the surviving spouse automatically becomes the sole trustee and continues managing everything without interruption. A testamentary trust, also called a will trust, doesn't actually exist while you're alive. It's written into your will and only activates after you die. You can use this if you want to leave assets to your children but don't want them receiving a lump sum at 18. You can release funds incrementally. The trade-off is that a testamentary trust does go through probate, so you lose some of the speed and privacy benefits that other trusts offer. If giving back is part of your legacy, a charitable trust lets you do it strategically. There are two types. A charitable lead trust, or CLT, pays income to the charity first. A charitable remainder trust, or CRT, does it in reverse. CRTs are popular for people with highly appreciated assets like stock or real estate. You avoid immediate capital gains tax and generate a reliable income stream. This one is critical for any family with a loved one who has a physical or mental disability. It prevents disqualification from government programs. If you leave money directly to a disabled person, it can disqualify them from Medicaid or SSI. A special needs trust holds the inheritance separately. It supplements, not replaces, government benefits. There's a meaningful 2026 update here. Disabled individuals can now establish their own first-party special needs trusts. If shielding your wealth from lawsuits and creditors is your primary concern, an asset protection trust is one of the strongest tools available. An AB trust is designed for married couples who want to minimize estate taxes. When the first spouse dies, the trust splits into two. Their portion rolls into the B trust, sheltered from taxation. Taxes are only assessed when the surviving spouse eventually passes. A blind trust is a living trust where the beneficiaries have no knowledge of what's inside, used by politicians to avoid conflicts of interest. An irrevocable life insurance trust holds a life insurance policy. The goal is to keep the death benefit outside of your taxable estate. If you have a financially irresponsible beneficiary, a spendthrift trust protects them from themselves. The trustee controls all distributions. A Q-tip, qualified terminable interest property trust, is particularly valuable for blended families or second marriages. Your surviving spouse receives all income from the trust for life, but you control who ultimately inherits the remaining assets, typically your children. Finally, a credit shelter trust is designed to make the most of both spouses' estate tax exemptions. Assets are kept out of the survivor's taxable estate. With the exemption now permanently at $15 million per individual, many families are revisiting their credit shelter trusts to make sure the structure still fits. Here's the honest truth. Most people reading this or watching this need a revocable living trust at minimum. If you have a blended family or a charitable legacy in mind, you need a more specialized strategy. Trusts are not a one-size-fits-all solution, but one of them is almost certainly right for you. The only mistake is waiting too long to figure out which one.